Yo, what's up? What's up? How we doing? How we doing? This is Dennis Smith, the alternate timeline, and I'm joined here by my boy Galen once again. What's up, Galen? How we doing? How we doing?
Yo, Dennis, I'm happy to be here. Excited to talk some Star Wars and The Mandalorian, the most recent episode, season three, and where we're going.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I love having you on as my Star Wars guy. I love your perspective on Star Wars, so I try to get you on as much as I can whenever Star Wars is going on, man. How are you enjoying Star Wars right now? How are you enjoying Mandalorian right now? It's been 6 episodes. Tell me where you're at with it all, because I see a lot of discourse out there. But
Yeah, yeah, of
tell me where
course.
you're at, man. In general,
In general, Star Wars in general, I feel very, very good about.
really.
I feel okay, maybe one very good about. I feel that we're in a good spot. We're just coming off of Bad Batch,
Right.
which I feel we need to acknowledge. I feel like Bad Batch is like one of the most underrated and like under the radar shows that's like in Star Wars is like total like just media catalog right now. I feel like
Right.
not a lot of people watched it. Like some people like fell off after the Clone Wars, and like people
Right.
who are fans of the live action show aren't necessarily fans of that. But it just had a fantastic season finale. It brought
Wait.
in some real weight. Yeah, the
Wait.
season
It was
ended.
a
The
season
season
finale.
ended.
Just what? Just
Yeah,
last
two
week?
episodes. 2 weeks ago,
Oh my
maybe.
god,
What
I'm
a
catching up.
fantastic two. Yeah, man, you
I'm
gotta
on.
watch. You're behind.
Yeah, I'm on like
Um,
episode 11 of the second season. So I got a few
yeah.
more. I got a few more, but it's great. I love Bad Batch, man.
Yes. It can be a little formulaic
Yeah.
at times, but I do really like the dynamics in between the characters, and I feel like that's kind of the strength of it. Just like their familial bond.
Hmm.
Um, and it has just great animation and some like really strong visuals and some really, really cool action.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I just feel like it's underrated and it did well. Andor was obviously incredible. I thought that
Right.
was the best Star Wars show. I still think that's the case.
Oof.
And I'm enjoying this season of The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is my favorite show, so
Yeah.
I'm really just I was telling my friend I'm really just happy to be here and
Exactly.
like I'm happy to be watching it.
That's how I am.
Like
I'm just happy to
um
be
yeah, this is our
here.
exactly. Like this is our like Star Trek, like for our
Mm,
parents. Like this is my weird like I look at people dressed as aliens show and have a great time once a week, like regardless of what's going on.
right.
And people are very serious about the Mandalorian because they love it and rightfully
Hmm.
so. Um, but overall, I feel as if the quality that we've gotten has been consistent with the rest of the show.
I agree.
However, I will say that is just speaking in the case of like what it is. Do I think it could be better? Yes.
Okay.
So well, I will as host, I will turn this to you. Do we want to talk about first what I think that season three should have been, or do we
Ooh.
want to talk about the latest episode and like what it has been so far?
Ooh, what it should have been. Oh my God. I mean, damn, I wasn't even ready for that. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Take it over, man.
Um,
What you think it should have
my whole
been?
thing, my whole spiel
Okay.
about the season three of The Mandalorian this entire time
Okay.
is that it was a mistake to reunite Grogu and Mando
Okay.
this early, but especially in the Book of Boba Fett.
Facts. I think that's the
That
big.
was that really messed things up,
It did.
in my opinion. It really kind of threw off the formula. I thought that the season two finale of The Mandalorian was fantastic.
Right.
The send off with Luke Skywalker, you know that he is in good, capable hands. He couldn't be in safer hands in the galaxy at that point in time. Um, and it was such a huge emotional payoff. I was freaking crying watching that finale, and they're back
Right.
together already by the
Yeah.
beginning of season three. It's not even addressed in this show it's
that
not addressed in this show.
exactly,
If you're just the fan of the Mandalorian, you'd have no idea. Well,
exactly.
wait, what?
Yeah,
Like season 3 came out, they're back together.
yeah. I think they
We're just
lost.
glossing over that. We're not going back.
Right. I think they lost a lot of
Yeah,
casual people on that because you basically making people go watch half of the Book of Boba Fett to just understand like
yeah,
why they back together. I think they lost a little bit on that because it was
yeah.
that send off with Luke, and then here we are in season 3, and it's like they're right back together, and it's like okay, what happened? What happened there?
Missed opportunity, a major missed opportunity, in my opinion. And I I feel like that was a really great conclusion to that arc.
Right?
Um, and I felt as if season 3 should have been Mando and Grogu separately,
Ooh,
and we
and
would
showing
have
different sides of both, like showing both journeys.
yes,
Ooh,
yes, and so you would
ooh,
have the opportunity to have Mando go off on his like Mandalorian adventures,
right,
have to seek redemption, can go through much of the same stuff that he's going through with Bo right
right,
now.
yeah,
And then we could occasionally see Grogu with Luke.
training.
And yeah, training. Also, like we get the same like Keller and Beck Order 66 flashback.
Hmm.
Maybe we get a little bit more with Kelleran and how he managed to get like Grogu safely off Coruscant. Like maybe they
Hmm.
get a little bit more time together and we get a little bit more of Grogu's backstory. Um, and then we could get Luke like updating us on like his goings on with like the main
Ooh,
post Return of the Jedi crowd, like Han Solo and Princess Leia. I'm not saying they need to appear on screen. I'm just saying that he could kind of give us an update in that area, and that's how you can kind of build the bigger what's going on in Star Wars. Um, just kind of overview that we've gotten in some of these episodes, which I've really enjoyed.
yeah,
Particularly episode 3 of season 3, the one where they're on
yeah,
Coruscant with
Coruscant,
Dr. Pershing,
right.
and we get kind of see we're seeing a little bit about these like these recommissioned Imperials and like how they dealt with like reintegrating Imperials into society. I
Hmm.
thought that that is awesome, and we could have gotten a lot of this too. But I thought that could have been another way to explore it. Grogu had to make that decision about leaving Luke rather than 2 episodes. If it happened over the course of an entire season, the emotional weight would have been much higher, and the
Mm,
payoff of them being reunited would have been much more sweet.
mm, yeah.
But I think that someone at Disney or Lucasfilm or whoever was just, afraid of losing out on toy sales. They're like, we can't have the Mandalorian without Grogu,
Without
and he's the one who
Grogu,
sells all the toys. Sorry.
yeah. I mean,
And you
Disney
could have
going
still had him in the
through.
show.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Disney going through a lot of stuff. Going. I mean, CEO like step down, all that kind of stuff. So like they're having a lot of changes going on in Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel. Like just a lot's going on, and um,
Yeah.
we're gonna get some information soon though. I mean, Star Wars. They're having there's a Star Wars celebration coming up, right?
Mm.
May the Fourth be with you coming soon, and I'm thinking we're going to hear some things. We have things to look forward to. The Ahsoka series is coming, and they're already sprinkling a little bit
Ahsoka's on the
of
way.
they're sprinkling a little bit of the Ahsoka Rebel stuff even in this Mandalorian season too. But
Oh, yeah.
which is cool, But yeah, I think all we know of really is the Ahsoka series, the Skeleton Crew. I don't know if they're doing
The
the acolyte. Are
Acolyte.
they doing the acolyte still? I think they're doing that. And in the
Yeah.
game, and in the game, so far we don't know of any movies
Yeah.
yet. So hopefully we'll see some movies announced.
Yeah. Jedi Survivor. Um, yeah, I think that's the next thing. I think they really just shied away from like the movie sphere because they got
Yeah,
so shook by the performance of the Mandalorian and I mean not the Mandalorian, the sequel trilogy
okay,
and
yeah.
Solo.
Hmm.
They got so shook by that, and they're like, let's just stay out of that space for a while, even though like you have to go back, like your Star Wars, like you started with movies, you have to go back.
All right.
So I wonder if we'll be getting an announcement about that soon. Um, but I don't know. I think that maybe this batch of Star Wars movies is this batch of Star Wars shows is like kind of setting up like a trilogy of movies. I think
Mm,
potentially Thrawn could be like the big
the big
bad
bad.
in a yeah, in a series that takes place before the sequel trilogy,
Okay.
you know?
Gotcha. Yeah, I've actually
Like
heard some people say that,
in
like
the time frame.
Thrawn being like the guy that could be the villain of a series, like a trilogy. I've heard that being said before. So I'm definitely with that
Yeah.
too. I'm with that.
I know I'm what's it called? I'm not the most knowledgeable guy on like extended universe Star Wars stuff, but I know that there's like a Thrawn trilogy of books that was extremely popular prior to the release of the prequel trilogy.
Hmm.
So I think it was like the late 80s, early 90s. And yeah, Thrawn is part of a species called the Chish, like
Right.
the
'Cause, yeah,
Chish
he's like blue.
Empire.
I keep forgetting he's blue. Like the.
Yeah. And so they have like a I'm probably butchering this story, and if any like real EU fans out there, please set the record straight. But there's like a whole other like massive force that's basically like in another a neighboring galaxy
Hmm.
that invades the Star Wars galaxy, um, like the main galaxy that we know.
Yeah.
And like it's this massive military force, and like because the Empire isn't there and the New Republic is just starting out, there's like not like a major military force to like fight back against them.
Mm,
And like Thrawn is like one of the leaders in that army.
interesting. Yeah, I think you've been wanting that for a
Yeah,
while
so
now. Like another
I
threat out there.
yeah. And I think that could be like imagine like a Star Wars trilogy that like had like Ahsoka and Mando, like who knows who else, like you could even have like Cal Kestis because he's
Hmm.
alive during that time frame. Like you could have like all the players that we're getting to know like in this TV show because they're all in the same area. The
Right.
Rebels crew, like they could be live action. That could be our next
Our next
trilogy. Like,
thing. Yeah.
bro,
Need it. Need it.
dude,
It's right there.
Ahsoka, Mando, and the Rebels crew with Thrawn as the main antagonist.
Yeah.
And you could feature original trilogy characters. Luke's around, like
Yeah.
Leia's around, Han's around. Like, bro,
Easy. It's all right
you
there.
could even have young, what's it called, Kylo Ren, if it's in the right time period.
Mm.
Like that's crazy. That is what I want to see. So, I think that they're still playing it safe with all these TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that that's smart for now. But
Yeah.
as we can see with season 3 of The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan, I would also say, and the Book of Boba Fett, they're all their T's are not crossed and all their I's are not dotted. Like this whole, like all of the Star Wars shows are not like leak proof, like
Hmm.
Andor. Like they don't have consistent quality. So that concerns me too. And I think that they should like really get solid on that before moving back into movies.
Got you. I understand. Yeah. Speaking of Andor, if you haven't checked that out, we have the our podcast or another video we made talking about Andor, breaking down Andor. Had a whole discussion on it, and it's one of our favorite Star Wars shows so far. So, great discussion. You know, it's why I like having Galen on the show because I feel like you bring that different perspective to Star Wars conversation. Like you really understand the human element stuff that Star Wars puts in it, and you're able to seek out the like real world parallels that they put in. I feel like the creators put that in there a lot, and it's not always in your face, but it's if you're able to catch it, you can definitely see the real world parallels, and you're really good at catching out. I feel like it's like second nature to you.
Thank
So
you. I
yeah,
really appreciate that.
yeah, man. So I love having that perspective on here, man. But yeah, back to
It's a
Mando.
blast being here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But back to appreciate it. Appreciate it. um, on Mando. Yeah, that's just like it's to me. I like what you were saying about what you wanted.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, what do you think that would also feel too big for a show that I feel like wants to be. It feels like it wants to be like your comfort show. It's my comfort show. Like it's like it's Grogu and Mando, and it's on this journey, and like they're like allowed to have episodes where they just. It's like a side mission episode, you know what I'm saying? And they did that in season 1 and season 2 as well. But, you know, I feel like the way that season 2 ended with Luke, I feel like people were expecting this season 3 to just be bigger. I feel like, or something like that. And it's, you know, sometimes they just have those one-off episodes where it's not much happening, but it's just this growth between this guy and this creature. And I think that's kind of the core of it.
The Mandalorian and Grogu's relationship is definitely the core of the show. Absolutely, that's indisputable. I would just argue that their relationship doesn't disappear just because they're not necessarily together. And I would ask you and the audience to think about like the 2 second to last episodes of season 2 where Gideon kidnaps Grogu and they have to go and raid his ship and get him back, and how distressed both of them are just being apart. How distressed Mando is before he goes to get Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett, episode 5.
Yeah,
my favorite episode of The Mandalorian. It is in that episode, he's hurting. I recently started rewatching the series from the beginning. And in the first like 3 episodes, after he turns Grogu in for the bounty and he gets all the Beskar, he's really torn up about like having turned him. He's like, what are they gonna do with the kid? And he asks the character Werner Herzog, his character, who he turns it into. He's like, what are you gonna do with him? And he's like, you know, it's against the creed for me to tell you, but yeah, they don't need to be together all the time. And I think that it would have been a challenge for the audience and the characters in the show to have them separated for a while. An opportunity for some really interesting stories to tell there. I think that CGI Luke also played a part in that. And I don't know like what the cost of maintaining that is, and I'm sure that it's like extremely tedious to like apply that effect and do the VFX for that, and doing it over the course of the entire season would have been like insane. But they're the ones who made that weird creative choice. You should have just recasted it. We were all okay with it. So they put themselves in that box. But
that's true.
Yeah. I want to talk about, you know, the show that we've actually gotten so far.
Right. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
So let's first of all, I think we should talk about the most recent episode,
and then go back.
Yeah, and then work backwards from there.
Done. Let's do that.
So 22. Guns for Hire.
Right.
The Mandalorian and Bo-Katan are going to this opulent dome city world to try and track down Mandalorians that Bo used to work with.
Right.
Who are now like commanding this former Imperial mercenary fleet.
Right. Now, we've never been to this world, right?
Never been to this world.
Okay,
never
cool.
seen it.
I like New Worlds.
Yeah, love New Worlds. And you know what else I love? Jack Black and Lizzo. And seeing them, which, by the way, it was spoiled for me on Twitter. Dude, you can't even go. It's come to The Mandalorian releases on Wednesday, but it releases on Tuesday at 2 a.m.
Bro, that's a whole other thing.
You can't go on Twitter.
That's a whole other thing.
Twitter at 8 a.m. on a Wednesday, bro.
Right.
It releases at 8. Like, you can be on Twitter first thing in the morning, having your morning coffee, and a show that comes out on Wednesday is spoiled for you.
Yeah.
Make that make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something that Disney needs to do about the release schedule, like release it in the mornings, or
no, they need to release it in the evening. This is their problem. They're having, this is an issue that a lot of creators are talking about right now, and a lot of people in this space are talking about. Because like you wake up and you're definitely spoiled by everybody talking about it because they release it at 12 o'clock West time, 12 o'clock on the West side. So on the East, we're getting it at 3 a.m. And and when we wake up, you know, if you didn't watch it at 3 a.m., if you wake up, you can't be on the internet. And sometimes that loses people.
You're behind.
You lose the moment, you lose all of it. And it's like, it's hurting Disney.
All the excitement.
Exactly.
Yes, it's so whack.
What they need to do is just put it at 9 p.m., just like how HBO does with their like Game of Thrones and House of Dragon. We there at 9 p.m. ready to watch it. We're ready to watch.
Yeah.
And then we can all talk about it that evening, that night. And it's I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me.
9 p.m. is high to me. I think because it is kind of a family show at the same time.
That is true.
I
so
think
kids
it drops at 6 p.m.
Ooh,
6 p.m. on a Wednesday, bro.
Okay,
and
hold on.
Everybody will be straight.
Hold on. So that's 6 p.m. Eastern, so that'd be 3 over there in the West. So that's what I was saying. Like 9 here, is 6 there.
I guess. I mean,
maybe 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock here will be fine.
Yeah, 8 o'clock there is 8 o'clock here is fine.
We can do 8
that
o'clock.
Would be okay.
All right. Still
Even
too much.
8 is like. It can release at 7 o'clock.
7
honestly.
o'clock. Yeah.
West Coast, I'm sorry. You can watch it
4
at 4
o'clock.
o'clock.
That's
Congratulations.
It.
Yeah.
That's it. You getting off work.
Come on. You getting off work. Exactly. No one works at work. It's fine. But yeah, that's a whole separate problem. Got sidetracked.
Yeah.
But Christopher Lloyd and Lizzo, Jack Black, love the cameos. And also it's not like these were totally like nothing parts that they were playing.
Yeah.
And so many people are like just like shitting on this just immediately without looking at the content of the episode. They're just looking at screen caps. They're like, oh, this looks like Saturday Night Live. Like Star Wars is allowed to have guest stars. Like it's a freaking TV show. Get over it. And it's not like the characters didn't have like were totally like without substance.
Yeah.
Captain Bombardier, Jack Black's character, he was also a decommissioned Imperial. And so we see what happens to Imperials of status when they're stripped of their rank and what the New Republic did with them. And I thought that it was very refreshing to see a former Imperial officer actually keep station within like a governmental body and actually do some good in the world, like have a legitimately good character arc and not have like any sinister undertones to him at all. He legitimately got married to like the Duchess of like the native population's government and got we're just gonna indulge in the arch and like engage in leisure. I thought that was cool world building and that those were two fine actors for that part, and I was happy to see them. Like I'm not gonna apologize about it. I didn't think it was corny. It didn't suck me out of the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Christopher Lloyd, the freaking security officer. First of all, you know who that is, don't you?
I don't. Go ahead, tell me.
Okay. Because I wanted to tell you before when we were talking before the cameras were on. That is Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Have you ever seen the Back to the Future movies?
Long time ago, bro. I don't know.
I couldn't. They kill you in the comments.
I couldn't tell you like that,
bro.
I couldn't give you names and faces like that.
Two like iconic like face characters. Well, there's more than that, but like the ones on the poster for Back to the Future, the young guy Marty McFly and the old guy Doc Brown. You're looking up the poster.
I'm looking it up right now. Dr. Brown.
Doc Brown. D-O-C. That's Doctor. Doc Brown.
Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown. Okay.
Dude, it's the most iconic role.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that face. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm here with you.
Gigawatts.
Okay. All
Dude,
right.
he's iconic. Sci-fi legend. So just to get him, he has to be nearly 90 years old. He was old in the 80s, dude. Put that into context. It is 2023, and he was old in 1985. Say that out loud, bro. and he came in and still delivered a performance. It's not like
Okay.
they just had him out there delivering lines. He was delivering a performance. I was in it. It was a freaking espionage thriller. We
Hmm.
go down into the sewers and we speak with the Ognaughts again,
Oh
and
man,
the Mandalorian gets to use what he learned from Queel, a callback to from the first season.
bro,
Like
that was my favorite.
that's
I call
character
this
development.
right. I call this episode "I
I
Have
spoke.
Spoken." That's it. That's the name of this
Yeah, man.
episode.
I wish we got to see them one more time in the episode, but that I
Hmm.
love that. I wish that more than one of them talked. But yes, I love that he used like what he learned.
Yeah.
We get live action freaking battle droids from the Clone Wars for the first time ever. Live
Ever.
action freaking super battle droids. People are freaking complaining. Episode is mid, filler episode. Give me a fucking break. Like Star Wars fans are never satisfied. This shit
Never.
kills me.
It's
Live
crazy.
action freaking battle droids. And a compelling espionage thriller. I didn't see the twist coming. Like these are obviously tropes that are these are tropes that we see in this genre. Tracking to the bar, where did you get your product, whatever.
Hmm.
But a droid bar, raise your hand if you've been watching Star Wars for years and didn't know that droids went to freaking bars.
Yeah.
Like, and we get to see that. The freaking bartender in his touching ass remarks,
Yeah.
we want to help. Human life is so short. Organics built us. It is the least we can do.
Yeah, man. Straight up
Are
droid
you
episode.
kidding me, bro? Oh my god.
I was not
I
expecting.
nearly cried.
Yeah, I was not expecting a droid episode like that, and then it was happening. I was like, okay, they needed to put one of those in there for Mando since he hates droids and all that.
Exactly.
I just throw that
And
droid episode in there.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way, because I nearly skirted over it. Seeing Mando's regression when dealing with droids and how aggressive he is toward them,
Yeah.
and Bo calling him out on it.
Yeah.
That is character development. That is regression, seeing it in action in one of our favorite characters. I wanted to hit him over the head. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was
like it's a legitimate psychological response.
Mhm.
It was like him enacting revenge. The super battle droid, the one that he kicked, the ones that were loading, it was the same type that killed his parents. The same type. And so, you see that childish, like teenage, like aggression, like, yeah, I'm bad now, like what's up type thing. I thought that was so cool and so compelling to see. And
That's lit. That's actually lit.
yeah, man, there's freaking levels to this. But freaking, oh, Lizzo bad. Episodes suck. Oh, what the fuck did you want to see? Like, there are filler episodes in every season of The Mandalorian. Like, oh, Mandalorian season 1, it's peak. Like, there's freaking filler in season 1, bro.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. The Sanctuary, The Prisoner, freaking filler, man.
What's that one episode where they go into a cave, him and Grogu, and they fight some monsters, and then like they run out, and the ship is like on a
the ice with the spiders.
Yes, the
filler,
spiders, filler,
like,
straight filler.
There's always been filler. Filler is an intrinsic part of the show. Just accept it. This one was one of the best. Compare the episode we just got now to the fucking spider episode.
Right.
Please just be objective for 10 seconds. Like,
exactly.
Have an attention span that is longer than 2 weeks. Like, please. This shit kills me, dude. Anyway.
Anyway. Nah, that was a great rant.
Surprise about Christopher Lloyd. Thank you. The surprise about Christopher Lloyd being the one behind the droid attacks.
Yeah.
Pleasant surprise. I thought we were only getting him for that one scene, and for him to be a major character and to go on this rant, and we get a name drop for Count Dooku.
Count Dooku.
In the
I was like,
Return of the Jedi era. Yo, I was hyped because it makes sense with his age.
Okay.
The age checks out. I survived the Empire. I survived the Republic. And I won't surrender to you. I freaking loved it, dude.
Nice.
Like, it's a fun little, like, dude, I freaking love that. Like,
right.
I had a blast last week's episode. I don't know what they're building toward the finale, because I don't think I was about to say that I don't think the overall arc of this season is very strong, but that's not true. I actually don't believe that. I've loved seeing how this season has focused on all the Mandalorian people,
Mm-hmm.
or at least like the large collective that Din is surrounding himself with.
Right.
Yeah, I've enjoyed seeing how this season has followed the Mandalorian culture overall, like of the
Mm-hmm.
covert that we've seen, and how they got like a legitimate like tract of land, and now they can lay legitimate claim to Mandalore, even if Bo says that those designs are behind her, reuniting the clans. Like, another take that I saw on Twitter today that I really liked is that The Mandalorian is not just about the Mandalorian Din Djarin. Like, it can focus on other Mandalorians as well. In season
Mm-hmm.
two, we take a bit of time to focus on Boba Fett. In season three, we're taking time to focus on Bo-Katan Kryze.
Mm-hmm.
So they are also like the Mandalorian for the time, and it's overall about Mandalorians and about
Right.
their culture. Grogu is also a Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
He's a foundling.
Ah!
Exactly, man. Like
Ah!
you guys are not like the show does not have to be about freaking Din Djarin
Mhm.
24/7 to
Right.
still be like truthful to its roots.
Mm.
So
Are you
like,
spitting? You spitting right
oh my
there.
God. Like I they don't want to hear me though. They don't want to hear me though, Dennis. That's the freaking thing.
Ah.
Freaking oh my God. Like they do not want to hear me. So yeah, like we don't need to always be hyper focused on Din Djarin, and we
Right.
don't always need to be hyper focused on Grogu and Mando's relationship, or they
Yeah.
don't always need to be together at least, which is why I thought it was a missed opportunity to have them separated and to explore what they would be like separated after having spent this time together.
Mm.
I have a point that's like another like hot button point for me right now that I really want to talk about, but
Yeah,
it's
go
not
there.
related to my specific episode. It's a kind of an unrelated thing. Grogu, also, I'm being honest, getting a little bit old for me.
Getting old for you?
Like,
Um, I don't. He's not getting old to me. But what I will say, I saw this take
like
and I agreed with it. It was that it's the episodes that actually feature less of Grogu are the really good episodes too. When it features like less and
I'm
less
gonna
of
tell you
him.
what.
Go ahead. I'm still
Like,
I'm still interested in his story though. That's the thing. Like I want to know so much more about him,
I'm
and I want to
interested in his
watch his
story, but here's
growth.
the thing that's yes. As Grogu is featured more in the show, like the more of like the Baby Yoda is a propness of it
Mm-hmm.
is like shown off, and like
True.
being like limited by what the prop can physically do,
Right.
whether it's like a CGI just flip, or like him just waddling on the ground, or like
Yeah.
just being in somebody's arms. It is physically limited,
Right.
and so that is weighing down like the rest of the show in a way, I
For
feel
real.
truly.
See, I feel like.
It honestly, it
Good.
does. It does because I feel like if by this point, just think of it by this point, like instead, I understand, different species age differently.
Yeah.
I understand all of that. But if kind of toward this point, um, Grogu was kind of like, just like a mouthy, not, necessarily mouthy, but like just a child who could like speak and who
Right.
could provide like input on like what they were going through. And like, maybe it's Dad, you can't give away your dark saber. Like Bo-Katan didn't earn it; it's yours.
Right.
And
Yeah.
maybe we have a different voice in the argument now, and
That's
we have a
true.
different dimension to the conversation. Someone who Din is closer to than anybody, who may also be steering his decisions.
That is
Um,
true. They
he
do miss
can't
out on
speak
that
up for
opportunity.
himself,
Yeah.
and like they've kind of put themselves into a box because I don't see it being feasible, like Grogu going through like a physical change like within the lifetime of the Mandalorian. A, because they don't want to stop selling toys for Baby Yoda,
Right.
and B, because it doesn't make sense with the timeline that they've presented with him being 50 years old and a baby.
And a
So
baby,
by the time
yeah.
he gets to like 100, is he going to be a baby until like season 50 of The Mandalorian? Like,
Yeah. At some
where are we
point,
realistically
yeah,
going?
at some
Like,
point they're gonna
we
have to
gotta be
like
honest. Like,
at some point
where
they're gonna have to age him
things
up
are
kind of or like
clear.
real fast or something. Like they're gonna have to like make him grow fast or something like that. Or that he's just gonna have to say he
Yeah.
actually matures faster than everybody else. So once he's like a little bit older, like say he's 50 now, right? So say when he is 100, he's actually like prime
Like a
Yoda or something. Like
teenager.
I don't know, like not prime Yoda, but like you know what I'm saying?
Prime.
Not prime, but like you
Yeah, I
know,
get it.
like a
Yeah. But
teenager
like,
just grown
like
up.
teenager. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would really mess with that if like when he's because here's another thing. Here's my Grogu take, and
Okay.
please timestamp this to whoever's watching. Grogu is Disney's key to the what's beyond the sequel
Beyond,
movies,
exactly. For sure.
because that is going to be their time jump about how are we going to skip to a time period in Star Wars that's unexplored while also keeping the audience
Grogu.
invested. Oh, they're gonna pick Grogu up from here, and they're gonna drop him here, and he's like, oh, he's an adult, and he's actually a Mandalorian Jedi badass with the dark saber. Yeah, give me 4 tickets to every movie, please.
Or is he evil Yoda? Or is he evil
I would
Grogu?
love evil
Because
Mandalorian Grogu.
the more
Oh my god.
the more I think about it, I'm like he's either like the leader of Mandalore as a young Jedi Grogu, or something happens to Din or whatever or Bo-Katan or
That
like
would be
and
catastrophic.
his attachment is
That would be
like
catastrophic.
you know what I'm saying, because they've been building up that there's a point for them being together all the time and seeing their growth and all that. So if something
That would
happens
be
to Din and he's
tragic.
affected by it, you know they have options. Hopefully they keep their options open.
That would be catastrophic, bro.
It would be crazy.
It would be too powerful. There would be nobody to stop him. Well, I don't even know who would be around in his
Right.
era. I don't
True.
know what that era even looks like as far as
True.
light side force users, because it's so ridiculous. It's so far in the future. Like,
Mhm.
who the fuck knows? Those characters aren't even like written yet. But like just his potential. His potential is ridiculously high.
Mhm.
His potential is like nearly like Darth Vader, and I'm not talking Vader in the suit. I'm talking evil Anakin Skywalker. Like, that is the most powerful character in Star Wars. And yeah, I think that Grogu has the power to potentially rival that someday. And if he's
Sheesh.
evil, oh my god, if he's the villain of a freaking trilogy, bro,
That'd be crazy.
bro. Nah,
That'd
man.
be crazy.
I would love that. But yeah, he's the key to their future for sure.
Facts. Facts.
But I think he's limiting the now. I do think the fact that Baby Yoda is a prop is limiting the now, and it is like it's like I love Grogu, but it's just I don't know. Just like pay attention, like try. I don't want to. I actually don't want to encourage you to do that because it's just not fun. But like, if you see like him from the perspective of being a prop,
Right.
like you'll get what I mean about like okay, he can only do but so much.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna have to edit around this, or they're gonna find a story reason for him to like be able to move fast or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it just feels limiting. It's kind of distracting at this point. Is all I
Gotcha.
need to say.
Got you. So yeah, I've seen that point being made, especially like the whole thing where he fought that kid. It was that Vizsla's kid, and he did the jump over and the jump back during the fight. I've seen a lot of people say it's okay because it's Star Wars corny, and Star Wars corny is okay. And I've seen people say like it is a distraction, like you were saying. So yeah, I've seen both ways. Me personally, I didn't. Like I caught it. I was like, okay, yeah, it's definitely like a little doll that they're just tossing back and forth. Cool. I get it, but for me, it didn't take me all the way out of it. It didn't take me all the way out of it.
Okay.
But
And yeah, totally valid too.
yeah,
Totally valid. All perspectives are.
right.
Um, I would have liked a bit of a more back and forth. I would be honest, between Paz's kid and Din's kid, Grogu. I thought that would have been like a fun little matchup, like two dads on the sidelines.
hmm You're cheering their
um,
sons on.
yeah.
Well, sports
Um,
dads.
yeah. I would have loved that. And maybe they do develop some kind of rivalry. I think that would be cute.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to get to the end of
Um,
this episode of episode
oh
6
yeah.
before we
Yeah,
move
we
on
should. Jesus Christ, yeah,
to
right. So caught up. Tangent. Yes. So, the security officer is behind the droid attacks. He's turned over. You have to live the rest of your days in exile.
right.
And we go back to Axe Wolves and the Mandalorian crew, and
Mhm.
Bo confronts him. Um, she challenges him to a duel for command of the fleet.
And gave straight hands. Gave that boy
Yes,
hands.
straight to it. We already knew that she was about it. She's not one to hesitate. I don't need my helmet. Let's get straight to the action, Jackson. Whooped his arse. And then he and then Mando bestows the dark saber on her as the rightful ruler.
Right.
Now,
Mm,
I will say one thing. I'm in two minds about how they did this.
same.
In one, I'm like, ah, you played a little tricky on us. You
Mm-hmm.
got the dark saber to bow on a technicality, and you put it right in plain sight. And in a way, I totally respect that because it's totally genius. Because they're like, what if we put someone in the middle of Din and Bo who is just like a no name?
Yeah.
And like you like put it under the guise of filler, but it has real implications when it comes to ownership of the dark saber.
Mm.
Just a quick joke. Um it reminds me of a meme. Um it reminds me of a meme that I read once where it said Pre Vizsla loses to Darth because you know the dark saber must be lost in combat,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so Pre Vizsla loses to Maul, Maul loses to Ahsoka, Ahsoka loses to Vader, Vader loses to Luke, Luke loses to Kylo Ren, loses to, and then it's just it's a picture of Yoda with the line, "A dark path this line of thinking will lead us." So it's like the whole lineage thing
uh,
can be dangerous. It's implying, of course, that it goes to Rey, who is
right.
the protagonist of the sequel trilogy, whom everyone hates, and who she's technically the Order of the Dark Saber because the lineage thing checks out. Anyway, so a second part of me is like, that's lame as fuck. The way we go kind of lame as fuck the way that y'all did that. And I feel like it should have been a bigger moment, the passing of the dark saber,
Bruh.
because it hadn't really been. There wasn't tension around it. It hadn't really been brought up throughout the season. She
Yeah.
gets to wield it once, but it wasn't really a contentious issue that like this was like a cathartic thing
Yeah.
for. So the payoff did not feel big to me.
That is true. And I feel like Bo's, for me, it feels like Bo's whole thing in this series or this season so far, like she's had a lot of things come easy to her. I feel like she's just kind of like she walking through the story, bro. Like nothing's like been challenging to her. The most challenging thing was fighting the guy that she was just fighting at the end. That was it to me. And like she got into Mandalore, right? And then she goes with Grogu to find our boy Din, saves him. They go back to their creed. They just kind of like accept her, especially after she goes and saves dude's son, Vizsla's son. Yeah. They just accept her. They kind of like make her almost a leader in that whole, that crew.
Yeah.
And then the armor basically tells her, hey, you're gonna be the one to unite us all that kind of stuff. She sees a mythosaur. Like he just like, I feel like things were just easy for her to be accepted and just I feel like she hasn't really had a conflict yet, which makes me almost skeptical of her still. Like there's still like a there's still like a little bit of doubt in me with her if she's like truly won over, if she has ulterior motives, just like a little bit.
Well, I will say this. Um, just a couple of counterpoints.
Hmm.
Number one, this season her home is totally destroyed.
Right.
Like you may have glossed over that. Number two, um, keep in mind that this is still the same Bo that we know from the Clone Wars and from Rebels,
Hmm.
who has already done a remarkable amount of suffering. It just hasn't happened in the show. Her
Okay.
planet was lost. Her sister was murdered by Maul. Um, she lost possession of the dark saber. She's lost it twice now. Um, Gideon Gideon got it off her,
Right.
and she wasn't recognized as the ruler of Mandalore because in Rebels, Sabine gave it to her
Right.
and did not follow the proper creed. And so she's lost it twice. So she has gone through a remarkable amount of suffering. And so season three for her is kind of like a redemption arc almost,
Okay.
and getting back in touch with her roots and finding power in her native culture. And she's getting, empowered the authentic way. She doesn't need the dark saber, just this object, a symbol of it, though she does
Hmm.
have it now, which, I'm in
Yeah.
two minds about.
Yeah.
But I thought it's almost more powerful that she's kind of gotten this power just from her actions. She, despite not believing it, led Din to the living waters.
Right.
And despite not owing him anything and having already saved him, saves him again from drowning.
Right.
Um, she saves Paz Vizsla's son, despite having no attachment to
Connection.
him and no connection to him.
Right.
And so she's beginning to walk the way. She's beginning to, walk the way she talks, so to speak. She's
Mm.
returning to, her roots. And there's a very a kind of stoic nobility in Din's tribe. And I think that she's learning from that. And so that's kind of bringing out the better in her, and she's now kind of just like reaping the rewards of like putting that work in. That's the way
Got
I
you.
see it.
Got you. No, yeah, it was more halfway through the season where I was like, I still don't like trust her yet, because I've always seen her as not like the good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like she's never to me like the good guy.
No, definitely
So
not.
her, having this, it's almost like they're trying to show you, you know, they're trying to show us that they're showing her that these things are real. These things, this is the way you can, this is your redemption arc. And and then her seeing the mythosaur just also, like, I think catapults that as well too. Is like, all right, well, this is this is the way. Like, this is for real. And also when she brought it up to the armorer,
Hmm.
how did you take the armorer's reaction to it? Because I've seen two different ways people broke that down too. Because I
Where
saw,
she's like, when one walks away with the Mandalore, you will see many things.
yeah,
I think that
because some people like thought that the armor was kind of, the way she responded was like, yeah, sure, you saw a mythosaur like that,
yeah,
but then
I
some
think that
people were
she was.
like, like it's an unspoken thing, like this is the way, you definitely saw that, and like this is how we do it. But so how did you take?
I think that it was I think the armorer was being coy at
Mm-hmm.
first, and it was kind of like a sure you saw it. I think that the armor always believed that Bo believed that she saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I think she always thought that Bo believed.
Mm-hmm.
But then the armor in the background is seeing these events tied together. Um Bo Katan saves Din, and it's just whether it be coincidence or whether it be fate, she has not removed her helmet since bathing in the living waters. Is that some of, the force at work?
I have a
She
question.
just you go ahead.
So there was a moment when they stopped and they gave her the campfire thing by herself. Like they were saying, since you did this, you could sit here by
As the
yourself.
leader of the war party, you
Yeah,
get the honor of sitting by the fire. This is the
right,
way. Yeah.
right. And then she took her helmet off there.
Yeah.
So she's just like, so they are able to take their helmet off when they're like just chilling, like
Yeah, that's
to
what they said.
themselves.
What's it called?
I didn't know
You
that.
missed that line.
I missed it.
You
Yeah,
totally missed the
I
line.
missed it.
What's called? Bo asks, "How do you guys eat without taking your helmets off?"
Yeah.
And Din says, "We all go off and we find a place to be alone."
I missed that.
She's
Damn.
like, and she's like, "That's very lonely." And he's like, "This is the way."
This is the way. Okay, damn, I missed that. So they do take their stuff off when they're alone and just, they can eat and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And so she starts to walk off, and that's when Paz sets her straight. As the leader of the war party, you get the honor of the fire.
Copy.
I love that, by the way. I didn't know that, and I thought that was a beautiful detail and a beautiful part of their culture. And I just love Mandalorian culture.
Yeah.
I love Mandalorian culture and religion and learning about it.
Yeah. I feel like the armor's got bars in general.
Oh, for sure. I love her.
I think she's got bars. Vizsla's got bars. Like a couple of them got bars, bro.
Dude, yeah, I loved Vizsla's speech.
Oh, great.
Like, and now we're expected to shed blood in the name of Din Djarin again. Why? Because we're Mandalorians.
Yeah.
They low key are like this, bro. Like I went back and I watched season 1 when Din is pinned down trying to get Grogu out of the village, and Paz is the one who leads the Mandalorian charge to come save him. And he leads all the Mandalorians out, and they save Din from all the bounty hunters that are trying to get Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
And Din's like, "You're gonna have to relocate the covert," and Paz is like, "This is the way."
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't matter if we got to move everybody to save one. This is the way.
This is the way. That's hard. They hard.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love the loyalty. I love just the commitment and the camaraderie. The weapons, the armor. I'm just obsessed with it. Just happy to be here. I'm just happy.
Just happy to be
I'm
here.
happy to hang out with.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I am too, man. They're my comfort people, man. I love it.
Absolutely.
So then the very very end, where we got what happened? No, that was the end. Oh, I'm thinking about the end of the episode before, where they find that the dude goes into space or whatever, and I forget his name, from that discovers the guy's been taken.
Oh yeah.
And the Mandalorian
Captain Carson.
Yeah, Captain Carson. Yeah, he discovers the ship that's been like,
or something.
Yeah, he discovers a ship, and that was the ship that was supposed to be escorting homie, what's his name?
Moff Gideon.
And it was attacked, and then there's Mandalorian gear, like what's it called? Beskar?
Yeah, Beskar embedded in the wall.
In the wall, right. And so now he thinks that Mandalorians think it was a setup.
First of all, super lazy exposition on the writer's part, I must say. I'm gonna be honest. Why the fuck would there be metal embedded in the wall? Like, when have you ever seen metal come off of a Mandalorian's piece of armor?
Right.
When, like, would it be like from a knife? Like, that did not make sense to me. And they're like, okay, like they're in space, like we have a limited way to like show that Mandalorians were here. But like, lazy way on the writer's part. I'm not sure I could have thought of something better, but lazy. Anyway, the other thing, I do think that it was a setup. I definitely think that was planted there because again, like it's so dumb. Like
that's why, yeah, right. People were saying Mandalorians don't just leave their stuff around either. Like they don't just like
Beskar.
Yeah,
Beskar.
They don't just
It's treasure to their religion. Yeah, it's not getting left behind. What Gideon's motives are, I'm not entirely sure of. I think that he may be trying to frame it like Mandalorians broke him out so that the New Republic will get sicked on the Mandalorians, and it's like, his two enemies will
Mm,
be pitted against each other.
mm,
I think that's his goal. I wonder if we're even
interesting.
gonna see him in season 3, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like not really looking
I
like
love
that.
it, but
I mean, he's got to. I
yeah.
feel like he's got to show for a little bit, just to he got to see
Show
where
face
they.
value. He's the big bad.
Yeah, they got to show him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think we saw set photo. I think we saw set photos way back that he was there. I think,
Hmm.
but yeah. So that's what's being set up over there. Um, I don't have any really. I had no idea. I didn't have any theories or anything because I don't know as much. So like I was like, I couldn't really make connections or anything like that. But I was just like, damn, it
Yeah.
feels like what you were saying with pinning Mandalorians against like the New Republic and stuff.
Yeah.
I I thought of it as like Mandalorians against Mandalorians. I thought this whole season was going to come down to Mandalorians fighting Mandalorians. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's not looking like
Um,
that right now. It's looking like they're going to get them all together, but there's got to be some
yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
conflict there.
yeah, I mean, it's not impossible to imagine that there is a sect of Mandalorians that could come into conflict with, the Mandalorians that we know and love.
Yeah.
There are Mandalorians who occupied Mandalore, if you remember during Rebels, after the Purge, Mandalorian super commandos that were loyal to the Empire.
Mm,
So it's very possible that those Mandalorians were the ones that sprung Gideon too, and they would definitely have beef with, Din's Mandalorian covert. So yeah, I could see that. It would be kind of weird to introduce them like in the seventh and eighth episodes, and then
that's
have
true.
them be the bad guys because I feel like it's not properly set up.
That's true.
Um, but yeah,
Hmm. Got you.
excuse me. So yeah, that's
Um.
where I land on that.
Got you. All right. Cool. Let's see. I have this whole like episode by episode thing here, but we did a lot of on episode 6 there. That's like, all right, we don't need to do too much. We can just like bullet.
Yeah,
We can like bullet
I feel like
past a
we
lot
hit
of
the
this
what's it
stuff.
called? We hit the major
We hit the major stuff.
of the what's called this season overall. And
Right.
do you want to know what's it called? Perhaps we can talk about where the season's going to end,
Okay,
uh, and beyond.
let's do it.
Do you have any theories? I'll start you out. Truthfully, I haven't thought much about it.
Um, the only thing that I'm just noticing is that I just see a lot of the, like I was saying before, I see a lot of the Ahsoka rebels, pieces being dropped in this season. Um, that's
I think we see Ahsoka.
I don't think we see her in the show. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to really see, hard to really like know exactly where it's going. They kind of throw you off sometimes with these filler episodes too. Like I'm thinking they're gonna start getting it going, and it's like, okay, droid episode, take that. Um, yeah, it's kind of tough. What do you think so far? What do you think
Truthfully, I
is
have
coming?
no clue. Um, yeah, I really have no idea because they haven't really built like a big payoff, a big bad. Like, what is this big
Right.
fight gonna be? I really have no clue. I think that we're going to explore where Gideon was kept.
Mm.
Um, but really, I have no clue. Uh, I can't. That's as far as I can spectate. And truthfully, and now that like just saying that out loud, I'm grateful for that.
Right. Right. I
I
just don't know. I have no
I
idea.
don't know where we can go next.
All I
I'm
do.
not. It's a double-edged sword because I can't say that I'm like particularly like excited for the finale. I'm excited to have 2 more episodes of The Mandalorian to watch,
Right.
obviously, but I'm not like there's not like a finale that's building that I can see the
Ye-
machinations of.
Right.
So yeah, I just think we just have to see how they can execute.
Yeah, and I know it's the same director for these last 2 episodes. Like this last one was a different
Bryce
director.
Dallas Howard.
Yeah. This was his one-off episode, and then like now we're getting the guy that's doing both of these, so it'd be like his 2-part finale kind of thing. What do
Yeah.
you I guess here's a question. What do you think about what are your thoughts on what's the guy's name? Carl? That got his own thing in Navarro? Or what's the guy's name?
Oh yeah, Grief Karga.
Grief Karga.
His
Grief Karga,
actor's
yeah.
name is Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers,
That's
yeah, that's
probably
his
what
name. That's why I know is yeah. So Carl Weathers, Grief Karga.
I love Grief Karga.
I like him too, man.
I think that he's had like a really solid and believable character arc. How he
Hmm.
went from like kind of the I don't know, the administrator of the Bounty Guild to then being like the I forgot the name of his station, but like the just the leader of Navarro essentially.
Right.
And how he's like legitimately become noble in having to defend this place and having to
Yeah.
rebuild after the Empire left. Like he just, he steps into the shoes and he had to fill them, and he has.
Right. Like he
I'm over the
cares.
moon about the guy. Yeah, and I totally believe that he's turned a new leaf.
Yeah, I love him and
And I don't
Mando's
think that,
friendship. I like
yeah,
that
I know.
little friendship a
I
lot.
agree. I was just about to say I don't think that Mando would have turned back if he didn't believe that he authentically changed.
Facts. Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
real nice.
And then
I love fucking like just the overall like cast of Mando. I love like
right.
top to bottom like the full stretch. Like if you look at like all the way from just like Mando, Bo-Katan, the Armorer, Grogu, but also just like Pelimoto, his mechanic on Tatooine,
Hmm.
and like freaking Frog Lady, and um just Luke Skywalker, just Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
Luke's cool. He's cool. He's
I mean,
alright.
just look at like everyone who's in the show. I just love like everyone who's included.
For
Oh
real.
God, I love that show. Anyway,
Um,
um,
what?
yeah, I do think. Sorry,
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, I do think that we get something that points towards Ahsoka, which I'm ashamed I should know the release date. I think that's this summer, which is
That's
crazy to
yeah.
think about because it was
Hmm.
another one of those things where I'm like, that's just so far in the future. It's like, never gonna happen.
Yeah. They're
But
hyped
now it's
for it too.
here, and Rosario Dawson is gonna be in Ahsoka Maker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely hyped. Me personally,
Yeah.
a guy like me, I will be in full Ahsoka face paint for every single episode. So,
Yes, sir.
but
Yes,
no,
sir.
um, yeah,
I get. I
I'm
got
super hyped for it.
nice. I got one more question for you.
You got me
Um,
thinking about, hit
huh?
me.
Yeah.
So
So
you got me thinking about Mandalorian tattoos and working on my leg sleeve.
Mando tattoo, leg sleeve
I'm
incoming.
like,
Oh shit.
yeah, man. I love these
Um,
side characters. But yeah, your question hit me.
so what do you think about the action so far in this series in this season so far? I'm because I feel like they've given us some good ship fighting. We got the pirate episode.
Mm.
Yeah, some good. I think we've
Pirate
had
episode
some.
was fire.
I
Pirate
thought it was
episode was
fire.
my favorite of the season. Chasing the Dragon,
Chasing the
also very
dragon.
solid.
Yeah.
Hand to hand, pretty good. I wasn't crazy about the fight at the end of this, at the end of chapter 22, the most recent episode between Axe and Bo.
And Bo. Okay.
Someone said that it was like fan film quality, and I kind of felt that. Like,
Okay.
obviously, in that field with all those ships, it felt just very like green screen. And also the scene with like Lizzo at the end, and Jack Black, where they're playing that sport. People were tearing that scene apart because of the visuals, and they said that it looked like a Capital One commercial, and I could not agree more. The visuals have taken a step down
Hmm. Damn. Well,
in
there's
some instances, not
yeah,
all.
yeah. There's that, and then there's like this whole Din with his helmet on the whole time because it's not really Pedro in there. It's a stand-in because Pedro's been filming for all these other shows and stuff like that. Dude's a busy
Yeah,
man. He's a wanted man in Hollywood right now. Um,
for sure.
but yeah,
And so you feel like that kind of hurts the series.
yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it because I'm like, he's throwing these little one-liners in there. This is the way and all that kind of stuff. He's not saying too much. I feel like in this series, um, I don't
Yeah,
feel like it hurts, but
but
I feel like I know a lot of people want to see the dude, Pedro be the actor of it, but it's all
yeah,
right.
yeah. I what's it called? I would be surprised if we didn't get a moment where he gets his helmet off this season. I think that it'll
Get one.
I don't. There's been one every season. In
Yeah.
season one, IG-11 has to take his helmet off to heal him in the last episode, and we get a little Pedro face action.
Yeah.
And what's it called? In season two, he has to take it off for that episode where they sneak into like the Imperial facility with Bill Burr.
Right.
And in the finale, he takes it off for Grogu. And yeah, so I think that we'll get it somehow in.
Probably. Yeah. When they unite everybody, unite all the Mandalorians, and he's got to show face for it. Possibly. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I think that like Bo being able to take her helmet off could maybe open the door for more Mandalorians to begin to like maybe follow that path if they so choose. And
Mm.
perhaps that like what the change is by the end of the season is that um Din can maybe get some kind of new permissions regarding his religion. Like he can remove his helmet in like the presence of Grogu or something
Mm.
because they're family.
Mm. Nice. Speaking of Grogu, man. Okay, here's my actual last question. Speaking of Grogu,
Maybe.
we've seen him get some armor. We've seen him get what is the chest plate, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's just like also like how many more accessories can you give this doll? Like,
Okay.
that's how it feels.
All right, but you know that helmet's coming though. So how does
I don't
helmet
think
gonna
it
work?
is. It's coming later. I mean, I've seen some concept art where it just like has holes for the ears.
Holes for the
I think that's
ears?
the only option that you can go for. Like plated ears sounds crazy to me. Um, I think that's the only option. Also, I don't think that helmet is coming as soon as you think, and it's also definitely going to be. Yeah, truthfully, I don't think that Grogu is going to get a helmet until he gets aged up, like in a
Aged
future
up.
property. I
Okay.
don't think he gets unless it's like literally the very last episode of The Mandalorian.
Oh man, we need to get
But
him some gear,
dude,
bro. Jetpacks, all that.
man, it's just
I
like
need it all.
he's a baby.
He knows what he's doing. He flew a ship, bro. Bro, we gloss over this.
Oh, you're right.
He
I mean,
freaking
it
flew
covers a
the
lot
Bo
of.
It wasn't like really him,
No, the
but
R5 unit. The
right,
R5 unit
right.
was flowing.
But he was in a
to
ship by
Bo-Katan's,
himself.
which is more than capable of doing by himself and
By
unaccompanied minor.
himself.
But
He went to go get
yeah.
Bo-Katan and
Also,
save
I
his
don't think they'll
dad.
ever cover the face. Yeah, they don't think they're gonna cover his face because they gotta sell damn toys. Which helmeted Grogu would sell some toys, but not as much as cute
Yeah,
baby Grogu.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So I don't think that helmet is coming anytime soon, even though I'm also team helmet. Why doesn't he wear a helmet?
Right.
One does not speak unless one knows.
That is true. That is true. He's a foundling though. He's still
This
learning.
is the way.
He's still learning.
Yeah, he's still in it.
All right, man.
Yeah, we
Any
expect that later episode.
facts? Any last Mando thoughts? Star Wars thoughts? Anything? You getting the game? You getting the new game? You got it pre-ordered?
Absolutely. Jedi Survivor not pre-ordered, but I'm gonna get it very soon. I have games that I still am playing and still need to
Right.
finish. I haven't finished God of War 2. I haven't even fought Heimdall yet. I just got the spear. So
Oh, you got the spear.
I still
Nice.
yeah, I need to put more hours into that. Still need to finish Spider-Man PS5.
Nice.
But I hope to, I definitely hope to get into Jedi Survivor. I'm very
Yeah.
happy with where we are in Star Wars right now. I would ask that all Star Wars fans watching this just take a moment to just be objective and look at the properties that we've gotten in recent years and the properties that are on the horizon and compare that to where we were in say like 2017, for
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah.
So just try and remain objective and have some perspective.
Right.
But other than that, man, listen, Dennis, it's a blast being on your show every time.
Every
It's a privilege
time.
to be here. It's so much fun. I could not stress that enough. I could stay here for another hour.
Yes, sir, man. I know, right? We could always just keep chopping it up about all this stuff,
Yeah.
but we gonna have to end it here, man. Thank you for coming by, Galen. Do you want to plug in your socials real quick, man? Let the people know where they can find you.
Sure. You can follow me on Instagram at down31. You can also follow me on TikTok at Confirmed Canon.
Nice.
And you'll be able to follow me on YouTube at Confirmed Canon very soon as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I hope to be
YouTube
doing
content?
more. Yeah, I'm thinking
It's
that
on the
maybe
way.
my first video is a review of The Mandalorian season 3 and talking about the direction of the series, because I'm sure there will be much more to talk about
Oh yeah,
after these next 2 episodes.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. As you heard it, go follow the homie. It'll be in the description below as well. Like I said again, I'm Dennis Smith. This is your Mandalorian season 3 discussion / breakdown / what do we want to see in the future topic here. But yeah, man, thanks for coming again, and I will see you again in another video, man. And I will see you guys in the next video. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Peace.
Yes. Everybody, have a good weekend. Happy Easter.
Yes, sir.
We
Happy
out.
Easter. We out.